Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise and get to the signal.
That's right.
And today we're diving into something that really affects, well, almost every time you open your wallet.
Shopping.
Shopping, exactly. But with a twist.
Mm-hmm.
We're not just talking about buying stuff.
No, we're talking about mastering the art of the deal, getting a good price.
Yeah, negotiating. And we've got some fantastic sources here. Research, real stories, sharp analysis, all geared towards helping you think differently about buying.
It's about becoming a savvy shopper, really.
So our mission for this deep dive.
Well, it's to equip you, our listener, with the right tools. Not just the words, the vocabulary, but the mindset, too.
Okay.
We're pulling out those key phrases, the essential terms, and even some, surprising cultural bits that turn a simple purchase into, well, a strategy.
Right. So by the end, you won't just know how to bargain.
You'll get why it's such a useful skill. Useful way beyond just the shops, too.
Okay, interesting. So at the heart of all this, there's one word that keeps popping up. Bargain.
Bargain, yeah. It sounds simple, but it packs a punch, doesn't it?
It really does.
Like when you hear that word bargain, what comes to mind for you? Is it just a low price tag? Or is it the haggle itself?
That's a great point because our sources really highlight this, this duality. The word bargain, it works in two main ways.
Okay.
So first, as a noun, a bargain is just a really good price, like an unexpectedly good deal.
Right, like this t-shirt was a bargain, only paid $1 for it, that kind of thing.
Exactly. It's the result. That moment you find something way cheaper than you expected. Pure joy sometimes.
Huh. Yeah, finding that hidden gem. But is it just luck?
Right.
Or can you actually, make bargains happen?
And that brings us right to the second meaning, to bargain, the verb.
The action part.
The action part, precisely. This is where you actively try to negotiate. You try to get a better price.
So like the example in the sources.
Yeah, the back and forth. The seller says $100, you say, how about $50? They say $75, you say $60.
That whole dance, exactly. It's the process of trying to reach an agreement on price. It's negotiation.
So understanding that bargain is both the awesome outcome and the thing you do to get there.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the first step.
It's fundamental, yeah. It shifts you from just hoping for a deal to, actively participating in creating one.
Okay, I like that. It's empowering.
Definitely.
So let's make this more concrete. Our sources had this great dialogue, remember? A woman in a store bargaining for a dress.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one. She sees one for $150, another for $140.
And immediately, she starts using language that just opens the door. It shows how people actually do this.
And what's really key there isn't just what she said, but how she said it. The specific phrases she used to kind of steer the conversation.
She was guiding it, wasn't she?
Yeah, towards her goal, not just accepting the price tag.
Which brings us nicely to some essential language. Our sources call it a language toolkit, which I like.
Yeah, it's good.
First up, price range.
Right, price range.
Yeah.
This is basically knowing your limits.
Your boundaries.
Exactly. The minimum you'd ideally pay, and the absolute maximum you're willing or able to spend on something.
Before you even start talking numbers.
Crucial. And in the dialogue, saying something like, oh, that's a bit out of my price range.
Yeah.
That's not just saying no. It's actually a subtle signal, isn't it? It tells the seller, I'm interested, but not at that price. It invites them to maybe come down a bit.
So it's a negotiation starter, almost, not just a dead end.
Precisely. It keeps the door open.
Okay. Next word, shop around.
Shop around. This is a classic. And it's not just about finding the cheapest price.
No.
Well, it is, but it's also about building your confidence, your leverage.
Leverage, okay.
If you've checked other stores, you've looked online, you know what the item is worth, generally speaking, you know the market.
So you're not just guessing.
Right. You're informed, and that puts you in a much stronger position to ask for a better deal. You can subtly signal, look, I know this is available for less elsewhere.
That makes sense. It shows you've done your homework. You're not just impulse buying.
Exactly. You're a discerning customer, as they say.
Okay, and the last one in this little group, pricey.
Pricey. Yeah, it's informal, obviously. Means expensive.
Just expensive.
Well, usually. But our sources suggest it's often a bit more nuanced. Saying something is pricey implies it's not just expensive, but maybe a bit too expensive for what you're getting.
Like a value judgment.
Yeah, exactly. It suggests the value proposition isn't quite right for you. It's maybe a softer way of saying that's too expensive, and it might prompt the seller to justify the cost or
Or lower it.
Or lower it, yeah. It keeps the conversation going more than just a flat no.
Okay, so these three: price range, shop around, pricey, they're not just words, they're like strategic tools in your vocabulary.
Absolutely. They help you frame the conversation politely but effectively.
Right, makes you feel a bit more in control.
Definitely.
Okay, so we got the vocabulary down. Now let's talk about putting it into action. The phrases that actually help you, seal the deal.
Yeah, the practical stuff. These are the direct tools you use in the moment.
They give you the words to actually do the bargaining.
Transforms you from just accepting the price to actively shaping it.
Okay, so a really core one, maybe the most important one, is simply asking, can you give me a better deal?
So simple, but so powerful.
Right. Our sources really emphasize this. If something costs more than you want to pay, just ask.
Or you could say, can you give me a better price? Same idea.
Yeah. It's polite, it's direct, it clearly signals you want to negotiate.
And importantly, it's an invitation. It's not aggressive. It invites them to work with you.
Puts the ball in their court, kinda.
Exactly.
Okay, let's walk through that longer example from the sources. It really shows this step-by-step process. So imagine you see something you want. Let's say it's a cool gadget, and it's marked $70.
Okay, $70. Seller starting point.
Right. So your first move is often to make a counteroffer, you might say.
Something lower, obviously. Maybe would you take $50 for it?
Okay, $50. Now, the shopkeeper probably isn't going to jump at that.
Unlikely. So they counter back. Maybe, I can't do $50, but I could do $65.
Okay. They've moved. Not a huge amount, but they moved.
Right. Progress.
So you don't just stop there.
Yeah.
You acknowledge their offer, but stick to your goal.
Yeah.
You can say, $65. That's still a bit high for me. I was hoping to be under $60.
Yeah, you're reinforcing your price range subtly.
Yeah, exactly. So the shopkeeper hears that. Maybe they offer another small step down. $63.
Getting closer.
Getting closer.
Yeah.
And this is where that persistence comes in. You're still not quite there, so you try again. How about $58?
Pushing gently.
Yeah. And maybe at this point, they offer to split the difference. Okay, look, let's meet at $60.
Now that feels like a fair compromise, right? $70 down to $60.
It does. And honestly, a lot of people might just agree there, happy with the discount. But the sources show the real art can involve one last nudge.
Oh.
You might say, $60. Could you possibly do $59?
That last dollar, it seems tiny.
It seems tiny, but it's a psychological win, isn't it? And often, the seller might just agree to close the deal.
And in that example, it didn't even stop there, did it?
No. That was the amazing part. The shopkeeper says yes to $59, and then the customer asks.
Could you throw in the charging dock? Or something similar?
Right. And the seller agrees, and then asks about a discount on the warranty.
And gets 20% off that, too.
It's brilliant. It shows it's not just about the sticker price.
No, it's about the whole package. Persistence and asking for specifics can get you more value, not just a lower number.
It's a series of small wins almost.
Exactly. Incremental gains, a real skill.
Okay, another useful phrase, especially when the price is still too high, is, that's still more than I wanted to spend.
Yeah, that's a good one, too. It's another way to gently push back without being confrontational.
It reiterates your boundary.
Right. It tells them their current offer hasn't quite hit the mark for you, and it invites them to reconsider, perhaps. Keeps the conversation alive.
Less final than just saying that.
Exactly. More flexible.
And then there's the phrase that signals things are coming to an end. That's my last offer. Or that's my final offer.
Right. And this one's interesting because both sides can use it.
How so?
Well, the shopkeeper might say $60. That's my final price. Can't go any lower. That signals their rock bottom.
Okay.
But you, as the buyer, can also use it. You might say, $58, that's my final offer. It tells them this is the highest you'll go. Take it or leave it, essentially.
Add a bit of pressure, maybe? Urgency?
Exactly. It signals the negotiation is basically over unless they accept that number. It brings clarity and forces a decision. It's about conviction.
So putting these phrases together with the vocabulary, it really does feel like a toolkit.
It gives you confidence, gives you control, turns shopping from passive to active.
From a transaction to an interaction.
Well put.
Okay, so we've talked language, we've talked tactics, but there's another huge piece to this puzzle, isn't there?
Yeah. Context. Specifically cultural context.
Right. Bargaining isn't the same everywhere.
Yeah.
What you say matters, but where you say it, that's just as crucial.
Absolutely. Our sources really highlight how different the norms can be. Take Canada, for instance.
Yeah.
Bargaining there is, well, it's just not really done. Very, very rare. Even, say, at a farmer's market selling vegetables.
Really? Not even there.
Apparently not. Trying to haggle might just get you a confused look.
Or
Or seem a bit rude, even. It's just not the expectation.
wow. Okay, that's a huge contrast to other places.
A massive contrast. Think about Ecuador, based on our sources.
Okay, what about Ecuador?
There, you definitely bargain. Especially in the smaller shops, the local markets, it's not just common, it's kind of expected.
People anticipate it.
Yeah, it seems so. It's a part of the whole buying and selling ritual. But interestingly, not everywhere. You wouldn't typically bargain in a big modern mall or supermarket there.
So there are rules even within the culture.
Exactly. It really shows how bargaining can be almost like an art form in many places, appreciated, expected, but within certain boundaries.
Reminds me of that story, I think you mentioned it, about getting that amazing price on a rug somewhere. Was it Morocco?
Ah, yes. The whole experience, the mint tea, the conversation. It took time, but the price ended up being fantastic. And it was enjoyable.
See, it makes you think, doesn't it? How much are we missing out on, or how much extra are we paying just because we don't know the local custom or we feel awkward trying?
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
So the question for you, the listener, becomes, what are the unwritten rules where you live? Or where you might travel? Knowing that cultural piece is just as vital as knowing the phrases. It's about being respectful, but also confident and seeking value. It's not just savvy shopping, it's being a savvy traveler, a savvy citizen.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, let's try and pull this all together then.
Sounds good.
Today, we really took a deep dive into the art of the bargain. We started with that key word, bargain, understanding it's both the great price, the noun, and the act of negotiating the verb.
Right, the outcome and the process.
Then we loaded up our toolkit with essential vocabulary, knowing your price range, the power of doing your homework to shop around, and using pricey as a more nuanced signal.
Mm-hmm. Building the foundation.
And then we moved to action. Those key phrases, the simple but effective, can you give me a better deal? Walking through that detailed negotiation using, that's still more than I wanted to spend. And knowing when to deploy, that's my last offer.
Giving you the actual words to use.
And finally, we touched on that crucial layer of cultural awareness, recognizing that how and where you bargain matters immensely.
Yeah, that context is key.
So beyond just saving a few bucks, although that's nice,
Yeah, it is nice.
what's the final thought you want to leave our listeners with today?
Well, maybe think about this. Bargaining is obviously about money, about value exchange. But what else is it teaching you? What deeper lessons about communication, about understanding someone else's perspective, about finding common ground, about thinking strategically? What lessons from mastering bargaining can you actually apply elsewhere in your life?
Ah, interesting.
How does practicing this skill in shopping maybe prepare you for bigger negotiations at work, in personal relationships, anywhere you need to reach an agreement?
That really broadens it out, doesn't it? It's seeing negotiation as a fundamental life skill, not just a shopping trick.
Pretty much. It's all about that exchange of value, perceived or real.
That's a powerful thought to end on. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the art of the bargain.
My pleasure.
Keep practicing those skills, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.